Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by the all-new 2017 Honda CR-V. With revamped cargo space, it's the biggest fan yet.
A beautiful Saturday afternoon in Toronto, and it couldn't be a nicer day and a great day to come to the ballpark. Junior Jays Saturday always brings a lot of kids to the ballpark. Game 2 of this 3-game series, and there's another good crowd on hand today. Of course, the nicknames are prominent throughout this players' weekend. Mokey, Justin Smoke, the first baseman, the bringer of rain, of course, you know that's Josh Donaldson. Happer, he was the starter last night. Russell the Muscle. Russell the Muscle. Pill, of course, that's Kevin Pillar. Everybody using those nicknames, as this is all about introducing these fans to the nicknames. Zeke, of course, is going to play today. Zeke's going to play some left field, and Joey Bats and the Astros show enjoying the atmosphere. Gogo had a big night last night, 3 hits in the effort, and Estrada Bien will pitch today for the Blue Jays. Marco Estrada will go up against the Twins. He last faced them last year, had a good outing, 8 innings, 3 hits, and he will take the field today and try to turn things around for the Blue Jays. This field level action cam is brought to you by the Samsung Galaxy S8. Unbox your phone. Paul Molitor and Minnesota Twins won the opener 6-1. They got 13 hits, and Bartolo Colon picked up his 6th win of the season. Joe Mauer will DH today for Molitor's Twins. Let's take a look at their lineup. Top of the order, Brian Dozier, a terrific power-hitting second baseman. And then Joe Mauer, we mentioned he's the DH today. Look at the average over his last 15 games. He's got his season average up to 291 because of that 424 average over that stretch of 2 weeks. And how about Brian Buxton? He too has come on late in the season. 355 over his last 15 games, 5 home runs and 15 RBIs, and he had a 3-hit game last night as well.
There is a lot of hot bats in that Minnesota lineup this afternoon, so Marco Estrada's got to be on top of his game. 27th start of the season for Marco. He's 5-8 with a 5.07 earned run average. His last start was a good effort on the road versus the Cubs. Pitched 6 innings, allowing 3 runs on 5 hits, still came away with a no decision. His 13th no decision of the season, just 1 win in his last 15 starts. You look down there at the strikeouts per 9 innings, it's 908. That's even better than his career best. His career was 8.20 strikeouts per 9 innings, jumped that up a strikeout. For his career 8 games versus the Twins, he's got an ERA over 4. He's 1-2, but over his last 2 outings versus Minnesota, since he has been with the Toronto Blue Jays, he has only allowed 5 hits in 14 2/3 innings.
Marco Estrada is a fly ball pitcher, without the outfield will become important. Carrera, Pilar, and Bautista. Rob Refsnyder starts at second base, his first start since last Saturday at Wrigley.
And his 11th start overall for the Blue Jays. Blue Jays, you know, want to get him some at-bats, and they want to see what they have in Rob Refsnyder. He made a nice play yesterday to take a base hit away from Rosario late in that game, so he gets to start this afternoon at second base.
Brian Dozier will lead things off for the Twins. Estrada is set. Here's the first pitch of the game. It is down low for a ball, and we're underway. 21 degrees here at Rogers Center. A fall-like beautiful afternoon. About to fall outside. This is the first time Rafi Lopez has caught Estrada. For Lopez, this is his 8th start since coming up from AAA Buffalo, but the first time these two have been paired up.
Gives a great low target for Estrada. He's going to have to keep the ball down against these Twins.
High fly ball into shallow right. Long run for everybody. Bautista is there, but it's a foul ball. He tried to make a sliding catch, and I don't think he ever really got to it. It was hit kind of in no man's land. It was up there a long time, but nobody could make a play on it.
And he was the only one who had a chance at that one. No chance for Smoke and no chance for Refsnyder, the second baseman. Joey Bats, who's playing right center field against Dozier. He's a pole hitter. Everything Brian hits, he seems to pull to left field. So Joey Bats had a long way to go to get that one.
Dozier 2 for 4 last night. He had a walk and scored a run. His season average at 261. High pop up. This on the other side. Goins, the shortstop, has the angle on it. I don't know that Donaldson ever saw it. He was over there in foul ground, but Goins had a much better angle, and he makes the play, one away.
That's really interesting that Dozier, the first batter of the ball game, pops up 2 balls. Marco told me in Chicago when he's got guys popping the ball up, he feels that's when his fastball's good and when his changeup's good. We'll watch that this afternoon.
So here is Joe Mauer over his last 15 games, hitting .424. He is .415 against Estrada. Mauer at .291. Another terrific season with the batting average. He's a 3-time batting champ.
That average is climbing for Mauer. He's had 25 hits in 15 games. He had a 3-hit game yesterday, his 5th already in the month of August.
He's got 1,943 hits for his career. He's got a shot at 2,000 for sure. 1-1 pitch, ground ball. Ref Snyder is there. 2 up, 2 down for Marco.
He has pitched well against Minnesota, like we said, over his last couple of outings with the Blue Jays. He's only given up 2 earned runs to the Twins in his last 2. There are his career games. 8 games, including 6 starts. He's 1-2. But the opponent's hitting just .214. That is such a key pitch, I think, Buck, for Marco Estrada, being able to get ahead with that fastball and then expand with that great changeup.
Jorge Polanco, the shortstop, moves up into the cleanup spot. There's another high fly ball. Ref Snyder out. Smoke is there. Ref Snyder, the second baseman, calling for it. 3 pop-ups in the inning. Good start for Marco Estrada. He's got that fastball skipping top of the zone. 3 up, 3 down. Blue Jays, he's hitting in the leadoff spot, and for Carrera, making his first start in left field since the 13th of August against the Pirates. Take a look at the rest of the lineup for John Gibbons here this afternoon. Blue Jays are 8 games under 500. Down in the 6th spot, Kevin Pillar over his last 7 games, hitting .346. That boosted his average up over .250. And right behind him, Ryan Goins got a great 4-game hit streak going. 7 for 16 with a homer and 2 RBIs, and Ryan Goins batting .224. Dylan G, the 31-year-old, will make his 3rd start of the season for the Twins.
Blue Jays get G Money today. That is his nickname, Dylan G. He has pitched for Texas and Minnesota. 2nd start and 6th appearance for the Twins. He was signed as a minor league free agent on June the 22nd after he was designated for assignment by the Texas Rangers. He was sent to AAA by Minnesota, where he flourished before he was recalled just on August the 1st. 2-hitter last time out, 6 innings.
This is his 3rd start, 2nd start for the Twins. His 1st start came for the Rangers. There's a fly ball to center field. Byron Buxton shading his eyes with his bare hand. Guerrero is retired on the fly ball to center. Defensively, Rosario and Kepler, they are on the corners. Buxton's in the middle, and Garver, the catcher, making his first major league start.
We have to highlight Buck out there in reference to my partner here, Byron Buxton. What a deflating catch for the Blue Jays last night when he went into the gap to take away that. We showed that earlier today. He has really turned into an outstanding center fielder. He's always been a great defender, but he's becoming a two-way player. His offense is starting to catch up with his defense.
Josh Donaldson took an 0 for last night. He was the DH in last night's game. He was 0 for 5, and Donaldson's hit a little bit of a rough patch lately. Just 3 for his last 28 over a span of 7 games. Prior to that, he had 5 straight multi-hit games. That hard cutter down and away.
Still a threat to hit the ball out of the ballpark. Neither team took batting practice today on the field, so a lot of work in the cages for both of these teams.
G working very quickly. It's 2-2 to Donaldson.
That's what he does. He pumps that ball in there. He's a typical Twins pitcher for me. Doesn't overpower you, throws a lot of strikes, works quickly. It's basically sinker, slider, curveball. We've seen that for how many generations with the Minnesota Twins.
Yeah, and they've never really had, a real overpowering pitcher. Even Frank Viola in his heyday was a guy that moved it around. Johan Santana had a great changeup.
But Dylan G should fit right in with this staff. Ground ball pitcher when that sinker is working.
2-2 to Donaldson. Check swing foul. Guess you could say Jack Morris was the primary ace type of pitcher. 91, he had that great season and finished up in that 7th game of the World Series against John Smoltz, and then came here to the Blue Jays the next year as a free agent. Paul Molitor's in his 3rd season as the skipper of the Twins. Fastball up and away, and Donaldson strikes out. Mentioned G's pitching for his 4th organization. He came up with the Mets, spent 5 years in New York, and then Kansas City in 16, Texas and Minnesota this year.
Your typical starter's arsenal, if you will. Fastball, slider, changeup, curveball. Work quickly, throw strikes. Don't give them anything to think about. Just keep the pressure on. The changeup, they're hitting $179 against that. So when he's pounding that strike zone, he can become very effective. He has faced the Blue Jays in the past 2 other times, 2 different teams.
But there are only 2 Blue Jays in the lineups that have at-bats against him. Josh Donaldson is now 0 for 5, and the on-deck hitter Jose Bautista is 3 for 7 with a homer. Dustin Smoke hit his 35th home run of the season in last night's game. And he continues to put up career numbers across the board. And Mookie takes ball 4, a 2-out walk. They didn't want too much to do with Justin Smoke.
Well, all you have to do is check the box score so you can see who's been swinging a hot bat for the Blue Jays. The unintentional intentional walk right there.
Pitching around him, Bautista. We mentioned he is 3 for 7 in his career against Dylan G. Fastball right at the top of the zone. Jose thought it might have been up. Can't be much higher than that, that's for sure.
No, not at all. That looks like a purple bat that he's using today, doesn't it? Right on top of the plate, daring Dylan G to throw one inside.
And he goes away but misses. Blue Jays players and all major league players have the option of colorful bats, shoes. The Blue Jays don't have the colorful socks like Byron Buxton is wearing, but we have seen combinations of batting gloves and, of course, the alternate jerseys. That's off the end of the bat. Dozier stays with it. Ball had a lot of English on it. Bautista's retired on the ground out. Blue Jays leave a runner on. After an inning, there's no score here at Rogers Center.
There has been a familiar face back here at the Rogers Center. That would be Joe Biagini, who has returned from his time with AAA Buffalo. Yesterday, Biagini threw a side session. Today, he was back in the clubhouse being his usual jovial self. John Gibbons was asked if it will be Biagini who starts tomorrow. He said, well, he's here, isn't he? He wouldn't confirm. He said he will confirm post-game, but Sportsnet's own Arden Zwelling did confirm it will be Biagini starting tomorrow. I talked to Pete Walker about what he saw from Biagini in Buffalo. He said he was very happy with what he saw. He threw as many as 7 innings. He was happy with the windup, and he said he feels Biagini has the stuff to be a major league starter. Guys.
Thank you very much, Sean. And obviously, in my mind, I don't know about you, Pat, in my mind, I think the upper echelon of starting pitchers in baseball are the best athletes overall for what they have to deal with and how they control the game. You talk about you got to be smart, you got to understand the game, you got to be physically strong, you have to be aware of what's going on in the field. I think being a starting pitcher in the big leagues is a real challenge.
Blue Jays, and we'll talk a little bit more about it tomorrow, but I think they did it the right way this time, sending him down there and let him actually pitch as a starter out of the windup. Remember, he was pitching out of the stretch just like he did as a reliever. So they did it the right way, sent him down there, give him 3 or 4 starts as a starter.
And then you have a little bit more information to take with you into the offseason. 0-2 pitch. Got him upstairs. Rafi Lopez called for that high fastball, and Estrada delivered. It's his first strikeout of the afternoon.
I think if you're Marco Estrada, you have to change the eye level to some of these hitters. There's that 4-seam fastball. Watch the spin that he gets. It's the same type of spin that he gets against his changeup, with his changeup. Now, when you change the eye level with the fastball, it makes the changeup very effective because that's usually down.
Here is Byron Buxton. He hit 3rd in the game and last night and ended up with a 3-hit game. Josh Donaldson at 3rd base, guarding against the bunt, and even Smoke at first has shortened up.
One of those hits and one of those RBIs was a squeeze bunt. It's the 2nd time this month that he has had a squeeze bunt.
There's a fly ball to left field. Zeke's backing up, and he gets there and makes the catch. 2 away.
Get 3 times the Aeroplan miles this summer by shopping at Home Hardware. 4 days only from August 23rd to 26th.
Another beautiful afternoon here in Toronto, and Marco Estrada has 2 quick outs here in the 2nd. That's not a surprise. The 2nd inning is his best inning of the season. This season, his ERA in the 2nd inning, 0.69. The opponents are hitting just 126, and he's got a whip of 0.62, all in the 2nd inning. Max Kepler, the right fielder, makes a changeup for a strike. It's a ball in the strike.
So you get your feel of the mound in the 1st inning, and Marco's had some problems at times in the 1st inning. And you get that feel in the 1st inning, get it out of the way, get a little sweat going just a little bit, get a feel for the baseball, and you're on your way. That's just the 5th ball this afternoon that he has thrown out of the strike zone.
2-1 to Kepler. Another high fastball. He gets it in there for strike 2. Kepler hit 8th last night. He had a sac fly in the 4th inning. He has 55 RBIs for the season. Another fastball popped up. Pat, you made a good observation about the number of pop-ups we have seen early, and it looks like Estrada's on his game.
Yeah, he told me that in Chicago, and I was surprised. So I went back and I started looking at some of the game film of him, and he's right. When he has them popping up, he knows his fastball's good. He also knows that his changeup is good.
Fastball down. That's a strikeout for Estrada. Good start for Michael. A couple of strikeouts in the 2nd inning. He's retired 6 in a row. Kepler caught looking, maybe expecting a changeup. He gets a fastball for strike 3.
By Boston Pizza on Saturday, September 9th. The Blue Jays take on the Detroit Tigers at 4:07 p.m. And there are special price kids tickets in the 200 level outfield and the 500 level. And after the game, kids 14 and under can run the bases just like the pros. Go to bluejays.com for tickets.
Thank you very much, Sean. Blue Jays in the bottom of the 2nd. Kendrys Morales and not started the game yesterday. He didn't have good numbers against the starting pitcher, Bartolo Colon. He was 4 for 23. Came into the ballgame as a pinch hitter in the 6th inning. And grounded out.
Blue Jays got to get his bat going again. It's been a little quiet lately. Just an RBI in his last 13 games.
He has hits in 10 of his last 11 starts versus Minnesota. Last 4 games, starting to get it going a bit. He's late on that fastball. It's 2-2. .91 upstairs for a ball. Full count now. Leadoff man here in the 2nd. Kevin Pillar will be next.
Teams have been feeding Morales a lot of slow curveballs, but Dylan G doesn't really have that. It's basically sinker slider.
There's a deep drive to center. Get up, ball, get up and out of here. Home run for Morales. Number 22.
And because he doesn't have that slow curveball that people have been throwing him, it's just sinker slider. He's going to challenge him with that sinker, and it's over the middle of the plate, and that was a blast to center field.
Blue Jays have now homered in 7 straight games in 21 of their last 23 ball games. Home run number 22 for Morales. Well, that's a good sign. They need his bat. They need his run production.
They got to get him going. Just 1 RBI in 15 games, make that 2 in 16. With that bomb to center, I believe that made it into the flight deck in center field. 3-2. Here's my fastball. Let's see what you can do with it. Kendricks crushes it.
Morales, a terrific power hitter, especially when he gets that fastball. Pilar behind 0-2. That's outside for a ball.
Watch where this ball ends up. Bounces into the flight deck. I don't think it stayed there.
Pilar rips it and breaks his bat. Might have hit it on the end of the bat.
Looked like might have bounced out of the flight deck, but what a bomb.
He hit that on a 3-2 pitch. Momo connects, and it's his first home run since August 4th at Houston, 18 games ago. So it was a long homer drought for Morales.
So I mean, you got to get that bat going. He's hitting in such a big, important spot for the Blue Jays, an RBI spot in the lineup at 5th. It's a good sign to see him hitting the ball like that.
Popped up, playable. Kenny Vargas, the first baseman, makes the catch in foul territory. So that'll bring up Gogo. And he mentioned he's got a 4-game hit streak, but he's also hit very well against the Minnesota Twins.
Check out these numbers in his career versus Minnesota. In 17 games, a .327 average. The team has won 11 of those 17 games, a .370 on-base percentage. 3-hit game yesterday. 3 singles. That's his 5th multi-hit game of the month.
Of course, he has set a new career high in RBIs with 49. His previous high was 45. He collected those in 2015. Changeup off the plate. It's 2-0. G Money pitching for the Twins, making his 2nd start for Minnesota, 3rd season start.
You know where he got that nickname? He got that in high school. He had a brother who pitched for Claiborne, Texas High School, and the pitching coach, Jason Wright, originally gave it to his brother, Jared G. Young Dylan G would hang around, and when he ended up going to high school there, they gave the same nickname to him. He says it's stuck ever since he was in high school.
3-1, fly ball down the left side. That is Rosario. He is there in fair territory and makes the catch. 2 away. So Rob Refsnyder will come up. Refsnyder in his only at bat last night, it was in the 8th inning. He hit what looked to be an extra base hit and would possibly drive in 2, but that's the great play Byron Buxton made out in center to Rob Refsnyder of an extra base hit and 2 RBIs.
Shading him that way last night, just like they are this afternoon in right center field. That was a ball that was twisting away from Buxton, and he just outran the baseball. You can see him shading towards right center field. That's happened to the Blue Jays twice in 2 games.
Kevin Kiermaier had a game-saving catch off the bat of Steve Pearce down in Tampa Bay on Thursday afternoon. Kiermaier made a 2nd game-saving catch in the same inning on a high pop-up off the bat of Justin Smoke. 1-2. Kendrys Morales has given the Blue Jays a 1-0 lead. Breaking ball hit in the air. Rosario broke back, but he's got enough speed to recover, and he makes the play. But Kendrys Morales snaps an 18-game homerless drought as he goes deep, leading off the bottom of the 2nd for the season. Home run number 22, and the Jays have a 1-0 lead. standings, there's been some shuffling of the deck. The Seattle Mariners beat the Yankees last night in extra innings, so they jumped over Kansas City. They're half a game behind Minnesota. The Yankees have the first wild card spot. Paul Molitor's Minnesota Twins have the second, but it's a stacked up, bunched up group from the Orioles to the Yankees. 3 games separate them in the wild card, and the Twins have won 16 games this month. They're 16-9 in August. That is the highest win total they've had in a single month. They won 14 games in May, won 14 games in June, but they've only had 3 months with winning records: April, May, and now August. But you're going to win, got to win late.
Who gets hot, right? The longest, and from here to the end of the season, which one gets hot and then sustains it? 16 wins in the month for Minnesota. They've done it with offense. They've been hitting a ton, hitting 272 as a team with 41 home runs coming into this game this month.
High fastball. Refsnyder there at second. He makes the play. Vargas is retired. 1 away.
The all-new 2017 Civic Si. When it leads off, it leads for good. Honda, proud fan since 1977 and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Top of the third inning here in Toronto. This is Mitch Garver, 26-year-old, making his first start behind the plate for the Twins. His first big league start as the catcher. Bill Miller, the umpire, noticed something stuck to the helmet of Garver, so he took it off, whatever it was. Looked like a piece of tape or something. Boy, Estrada is locked in with that fastball command early in this game. Ball on the strike.
He's thrown 26 pitches, 19 of them for strikes so far. So everything has been right around the plate. Good looking pitcher. Look where those 3 pitches are. On the edges everywhere.
And it's a 2-1 count. Marco has retired 7 in a row to start this game. Not missing by much, that's for sure. And he asked the home plate umpire with a subtle gesture, was that down?
Probably wanted to know if it was down or off the plate.
Foul back. 3-2 count to the catcher, Mitch Garver. Eduardo Escobar is on deck. Ball 4. That's the first base runner to reach for Minnesota. Marco Estrada has had an off season. The last 2 years he's been tough to hit.
And a key part of that component is what does he do against right-handed batters. In 15, righties only hit 204 against Marco. They jumped up to just 218 last year, all the way up to 289 this season. The slugging percentage has been higher, and he's given up 12 home runs to right-handed batters this season, the most he gave up all of last year to right-handed batters. So neutralizing the right-handed bats, I think, are key for Marco.
Escobar jumps back from that inside fastball. Escobar hit 5th in last night's game. He had a sacrifice fly, finished up 0 for 4 in that game.
If you look at Escobar's nickname, El de la Pica, that's from the small municipality from where Eduardo Escobar is from in Venezuela. So he is honoring the town from where he comes from.
Same thing that Brian Dozier has done from his hometown in Mississippi.
I love that they pay homage to the small towns where they are from. They've made it all the way to the big leagues.
He gets jammed. That's a fair ball. Smoke has but one play, and that's to step on the bag at first, and Escobar's retired. Brian Dozier, the leadoff man. His last few seasons, he set this pattern, and it continues this year, really coming on in the second half.
Yeah, pretty good before the All-Star break, outstanding after the All-Star break. This is his OPS, his on-base, plus his slugging average post-All-Star. Last year was .992. He's doing it again this year at .990. He hit 28 home runs in the second half last season for a career-high 42 overall.
First curveball of the afternoon we have seen as Estrada drops it in to get ahead of Dozier.
28 home runs and a half is as good as a season for me. That's
it's a good season for a lot of people.
Yeah, for anybody. He did that in half the year last year.
High changeup. Dozier, over his 6 major league seasons, has the second most home runs by a second baseman over the first 6 years of their career. Dan Uggla, who came up with Florida and played at Atlanta, has 190 career home runs. Dozier, 143. 0-2. Cutter.
Tell you what, Dozier is not going to get cheated at all. I don't care what count it is. He is going to go up there and he's going to get his hacks in. He likes that fastball. He likes to pull it. 18 of those 26 home runs have been to left field.
This is popped up. Donaldson over near the seats, and it'll be back out of play. Well, he likes that high fastball. We mentioned the home runs through the first 6 seasons of Dozier's career. He's second all time for second baseman over the first 6 seasons. Joe Gordon is third, Chase Utley fourth, and Ian Kinsler fifth. Some pretty good power hitting second baseman. Strike 3 call. Dozier threw his bat down. And he wasn't happy with that call. He was looking up, and Estrada and Lopez crossed him up. They went downstairs for the strikeout. So Estrada gives up a walk. The Twins leave a base runner, and Marco picks up his 3rd strikeout of the afternoon. Dozier didn't like the call, but Marco is through 3.
Enjoying those comfy green chairs in the TD Comfort Zone are gifts from one of TD's community partners. at WestJet Owner's Care. Check out WestJet's low fares from Canada to London Gatwick at westjet.com or call your travel agent. Talk Pat.
Dylan G delivers a first pitch strike to Rafi Lopez. Lopez making his 8th start behind the plate for the Blue Jays. Jays have a 1-0 lead thanks to Kendrys Morales' solo home run, his 22nd of the season. The Blue Jays now have homered in 7 straight games. We mentioned that Garver's making his first start in the big leagues. He's behind the plate, and he and Dylan G had a little trouble getting their thoughts together. This is going to drop for a base hit for Rafi Lopez. For Lopez, just his 4th hit of the season. He's now 4 for 24.
Really celebrated that last hit, the home run that he had. First big league home run. This time it looks like a changeup that he stays back on just long enough. Yeah, change up, and he's able to hook it to right field off the end of the bat. Keep the hands back and the weight back as long as possible, and then spin on it.
So that'll turn the lineup over. Ezekiel Carrera. He flied out to center field his first time up. The Blue Jays have been a little more aggressive here in the later stages of this season, playing hit and run, starting a runner from time to time. And I know Lopez is a catcher, but I think this is a good time to start the runner, see if he can't pull the ball through that right side. Not running here, and Carrera pulls it through the right side anyway. Lopez will stop at second. See? With his first base hit, back-to-back singles off Dylan G here in the 3rd.
Did you used to manage? Makes a lot of sense. You know, you've got a pitcher on the mound who doesn't throw that hard, so you've got the hole on the right side. You can get the bat head out and just try and pull it on the right side, see what comes up. Comes up roses for Zeke. He gets his first hit of the afternoon.
There are so many hits out there. You step into the batter's box, have a look, see where all the holes are, and then try to hit one in the hole.
You know, it's hard to do that against somebody who's throwing 98 miles an hour, 95 miles an hour. But Dylan G is a sinker ball pitcher. Chances are you're going to get the ball on the ground, and doesn't throw that hard, so you can cheat just a little bit against him.
Josh Donaldson bunts it up the 3rd baseline. That's a beauty. It's going to be a base hit for Donaldson. Hey, taking a page out of the Twins playbook. For Donaldson, when he just saw the 3rd baseman was back, that snaps an 0 for 13 for Josh.
You and I were in the office with Paul Molitor this morning, and we were talking about the bunt and what it does to teams, and it's more of a lost art. Well, this is a perfectly executed bunt for a base hit by Donaldson. He got the bat at a 45-degree angle. He got it at the top of the strike zone. He just lays it down, deadens that ball. And with that 3rd baseman playing deep like he did, that's an easy hit for JD.
And like I said, it snaps an 0 for 13 stretch. And here's Justin Smoke, who walked his first time up. They didn't want much to do with him now, but they've got no place to put him. The bases are loaded.
Got to pitch to him now. Wow.
Get the head out, Smokey. What a difference for Justin this summer. 2017, he's averaged 12.94 at bats per home run. In his career, it's almost double that. He's behind 0-2. And G elevates and strikes him out. Smoke was batting just 127 with the bases loaded, and G strikes him out for the first out of the inning.
Had to go upstairs to get a couple of cutters in, and then a well-placed fastball. It just looks so inviting. Smokey upset with himself. You can see after that 3-pitch strikeout.
Lots of ribbies on base, and he didn't come through like he wanted. Bautista takes a breaking ball for strike 1. Jose, on the other hand, has 5 career grand slams. Blue Jays have hit 6 slams this season. So fly ball to right. That's going to get a run in. Raffy goes back to tag, and here's the throw to the plate. Not in time. So Bautista drives one deep to right. Raffy Lopez comes in to score, and the Blue Jays have a 2-0 lead.
Minnesota Twins yesterday played some small ball, if you will, creating some runs with sacrifice flies. They have one in the 4th inning. Blue Jays get one right back. Bautista with the sac fly.
Neil Allen out to talk to Dylan G. Beauty Tone, Canada's color experts, available exclusively at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Beauty Tone on a beautiful day here at Rogers Center. Blue Jays have a 2-0 lead. Neil Allen, the pitching coach, out to talk things over with Dylan G.
You know, you might not think of Carrera's tag at second base as being a big play, but look what it does again on the right side of the infield. Vargas, the first baseman, has to hold on that runner, opening up a hole.
And there's a ball in the dirt.
Let's see what Kendrys Morales could do. Maybe take advantage of it.
So Morales homered leading off the second. That snapped a streak of 48 straight at bats without a home run. They mentioned he hadn't hit a home run in 18 games. Up and in. If Carrera doesn't tag and move to third, he's at second. Donaldson gets a big lead, but Vargas then can play behind Donaldson, and that gives him much more range at first.
And they might even play in the shift just a little bit more, as there wouldn't be anybody standing over at third base. Neil Allen, the pitching coach, was out to talk to G, and I wonder if he said, hey, let's don't give this guy anything to hit right here. We've got a base open. It's at second base. Falls behind 3-0, and you bet Morales has the green light.
No reason to really challenge him here. He did, and Morales fouls it back. Morales now batting with Pilar standing on deck. Kendrys has hits in 11 of his last 12 starts against Minnesota. So this was the right combination, and Molitor understands the threat of Morales at the plate. Blue Jays already have a 2-0 lead. This is popped up on the infield. Escobar, now the shortstop Polanco, makes the catch as Morales pops out. The Blue Jays get another run. Jose Bautista with the sacrifice fly, and we'll go to the 4th inning. The Blue Jays have a 2-0 lead over Minnesota. overall pick in the June free agent draft of 2001. And we thought we'd show you some of the former #1 overall picks and how they have fared throughout their career.
And guess who has the highest batting average of all the #1 picks ever picked since 1965 when the draft started? It's none other than Joe Mauer with an average of 307. Chipper Jones was on that list. A-Rod. How about Ken Griffey Jr., Darryl Strawberry, Harold Baines, Bob Horner? None of those guys made the list. It's Joe Mauer with the highest career batting average.
First pick in the draft, and Mauer is the leader of the pack with a 307 career batting average. Josh Hamilton was on that list. Ron Blomberg, the first DH in baseball history, he also was on the pick. He was a good-looking athlete too.
The first DH for the Yankees. Blomberg was picked in 1967 by the Yankees.
Marco Estrada has had a little bit of trouble the last inning, throwing strikes consistently. He started out, retired 7 in a row, and then walked Mitch Garver, the first and only base runner for Minnesota. He was pounding that strike zone with everything.
Well, he's all around the strike zone. He just hasn't gotten the call yet. That number 3 pitch you see there, he thought that one was at the knees. Now to challenge him now with a 2-0 lead.
And Mauer delivers the base hit. He's had that approach since he first came to the big leagues, using the whole field, hitting the ball up the middle to the opposite field. And last night he had a 3-hit game, and he gets the first hit for Minnesota here in the 4th.
Well, good hitters, first of all, have to have plate coverage, and he has plate coverage for sure. That pitch was down and away, and he's able to bang it back through the middle. I don't want to call that an opposite field swing. It's just a good swing where he stays inside the ball. He can hit home runs. He's had big seasons as a home run hitter. I believe he hit 28 home runs one season, but he's just a good hitter.
Hit 28 home runs in 2009, and that was at the Metrodome. Much more hitter-friendly ballpark than Target Field. It's the only time in his career he's hit more than 20 home runs. Jorge Polanco waved at that changeup. Polanco popped out in the 1st.
Got that RBI total up to 52. He's given him 15 over his last 10 games, where they have him hitting high in the order now.
Well, you mentioned we were talking with Paul Molitor, and he moves his players around according to matchups, what he thinks they might do against a particular pitcher. And you can see there are those 15 RBIs in his last 10 games. It's a fly ball. Bautista coming in, and he gets an angle on that sun and makes the catch. 1 away.
This 4K broadcast is brought to you by Samsung QLED TV. Experience Canada's team in all the colors of the game with the next innovation in TV.
Lots going on this beautiful Saturday afternoon in Toronto. Eddie Rosario, the left fielder, struck out on a high fastball. They kept going up, up, up. They just went up the ladder and struck him out on a high heater.
You better get it up there. He's got home run possibilities. He's hit 18 of them this season. Just over 400 at bats.
There's a liner to right. Bautista got a good read and makes a nice catch. That ball was sinking quickly, but Jose broke, and Joey Bats makes a fine play in right.
He's been playing out there a long time, so he knows this turf better than anybody. Jose reads it off the bat. If he hesitates for a second, he's going to have to lay back and let this ball drop, but he gets a good read on it, breaks on it right away, and takes it right off the turf. Good play.
Two outs for Byron Buxton. The curveball upstairs. Buxton over his last 15 games batting .355. He flied out to left field in the second inning. In talking with Buxton's manager, Molitor suggested that still at this point, a pitch in a particular at-bat can really turn the at-bat one way or the other. If he lays off a tough pitch, chances are he's going to have a good at-bat. There he fouls that one back.
And he specifically mentioned the 1-1 pitch. 1-1, and when we mean flip the at-bat, if he swings at a slider 1-1, that could have been a ball, but he's a little bit over anxious and he swings to it. It's now 1-2 instead of 2-1. I think that's just the maturation factor of young hitters.
Breaking ball. Donaldson at third, goes to second. That ends the inning. Buxton out on the fielder's choice. Joe Mauer leads it off with a single, but the Twins leave a base runner.
Players weekend at jshop.ca with limited edition select Blue Jays tees featuring player pick nicknames and caps. Wear the gear the players are wearing on the field this weekend. Available while supplies last at jshop.ca. Guys.
G Money, number 35, is Dylan G, and the nicknames are abundant all across baseball. Chooch hit a home run today in the Bronx. Carlos Ruiz, the catcher for the Mariners. It's a 1-1 game, bottom of the third in New York. Last night, 305 hit a home run against the Missile.
Please don't ask me to figure out who that is.
305, Yonder Alonso, because he's from Miami.
Okay.
The area code. And the Missile, Aroldis Chapman, the Cuban Missile.
Of course. I should know that. Okay, the Missile.
Yeah. 305 hit a home run off the Missile. In extra innings, mind you, and Seattle beat the Yankees. Kevin Pillar behind 0-2. Now he's called out on strikes. That's the third strikeout for Dylan G.
Got to live on the edges. Dylan G got that one on the corner. Pillar can't believe it. They go away. Come back fastball on the corner. Let's see if it catches it. Yeah, hits the front edge of that plate.
Ryan Goins takes first pitch curveball for his strike.
Those are the kind of pitches, Buck, where you just say, you know what, I'm not going to hit it, so I'm not even going to swing at it.
Can't hit it. Why try? That's why I got tip of cap to a pitcher.
And they're out there to do a job, right? Make good pitches like that. That one was right on the corner.
Be careful upstairs, G-Money. Ryan Goins hit a career-high 6th home run on Wednesday at Tampa Bay on that same high fastball. He's called out on strikes. Bill Miller brings up Pilar, now Goins. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the 4th.
He went right back there upstairs with that fastball with a little bit more tail on it. Watch the movement that he gets and freezes Goins from the side. Strike zone is right at the letters, and it's right there.
2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Rob Refsnyder gets a start at second. For Refsnyder, it's his 11th start for the Blue Jays at second base. There's a base hit for Refsnyder. A 2-out single.
Rob Refsnyder with his first hit, the Blue Jays' 5th of the afternoon. Slider from Dylan G. The Super Slow-Mo brought to you by the Samsung QLED, the next innovation in TV. Blue Jays want to see what they have offensively from Rob Refsnyder, so they get him to start this afternoon. Looks like he can hit. I mean, he smoked that ball last night to right center field and was robbed.
Rafi Lopez, the catcher, has a base hit. Lopez scored on the sacrifice fly off the bat of Jose Bautista in the 3rd. One ball, no strikes on the number 9 hitter. We are in the 4th inning. The Blue Jays have a 2-0 lead over Minnesota. The Twins won 6-1 last night.
A little bit bigger lead this time from Refsnyder. He's 4 for 4 this season in stolen base attempts.
Good cut by Lopez, but he fouled it straight back. Ball was up and away just a bit. This game, Twins and Blue Jays, only the 2nd game played right now. The rest of the games will start later on this afternoon or tonight. Baltimore and Boston will start at 4:05 Eastern time. And Baltimore put a whooping on the Red Sox last night. Baltimore really starting to swing the bats well.
16 runs last night.
16 runs on 20 hits, and Rick Porcello had been throwing the ball very well. Jonathan Scope was 4 for 5. 1-2. Inside, now it's even at 2-2. How about Trey Mancini? If Aaron Judge wasn't in the league, Trey Mancini would be getting a lot of attention. Mancini last night went 3 for 5, drove in 4 runs for the Orioles. He has 69 RBIs. Lopez strikes out. That ends the inning. The Blue Jays get a 2-out single from Refsnyder and strand the base runner. We'll go to the 5th. The Blue Jays lead at 2-0. Now time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell along with Kevin Barker from the Samsung broadcast studio.
Sportsnet presents 40 in 40 Greatest Blue Jays. Our panel of baseball experts voted and will reveal the top 40 Blue Jays since 1977. Jamie Campbell, Jerry Howard, Stephen Brunt, and Jeff Blair host 40 in 40. That's tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. Catch it on Sportsnet.
Thank you very much, Sean. And it's an interesting show. You want to make sure you catch it all tomorrow after the ball game. And it has been interesting, and we have all been asked about a 40 top player list, and Pat and I have both submitted our thoughts and given them a list of 40 players we thought have been in the top 40 players in franchise history. And it's an interesting study. So many great players. And, you know, you go back to the early days of the Blue Jays, the 70s, the early 80s, and, of course, the 85 team was the first team to win a division championship. So a lot of those players, in my mind, deserve a little extra weight, given the fact that they went from an expansion team to a championship team. Tony Fernandez was part of that. Blue Jays won in 85. They won the East in 89, 91.
I spent a lot of time thinking about my list and what the guys meant to the organization and what they meant to the team. And like you just said, when they played, like an Alfredo Griffin, first rookie of the year. Come on. That was basically an expansion team, and he was able to win Rookie of the Year.
Alfredo played 8 seasons with the Blue Jays. He had 249, but he had 79 stolen bases, played terrific defense at shortstop. Max Kepler with a 2-2 count. 40-31. That was released last night. Alex Rios, Vance Mullenix, Russell Martin. Russell's in his 3rd season with the Blue Jays. He's hit, ironically, 55 home runs as a Blue Jay.
And there's
the number he wears.
There's Alfredo right there. And that's why I wanted to mention him, that he was, I thought, just a little low.
Donaldson gets there and makes the catch in foul territory as Kepler is retired. Alfredo was 37th and Ernie Witt was 31. And then you go to the 30 to 21 range. Pat Borders, Jack Morris, David Wells, Sean Green, Vernon Wells, 22. That's kind of interesting, and I think Vernon should be higher on that list.
Yeah, higher or lower, however you decide. Closer to the top 10.
Yes.
Because of all the great numbers that he has put up. That was just revealed today. Tomorrow they will go the top 20. Tomorrow afternoon.
Vernon Wells played 12 seasons with the Blue Jays.
And if you go through the record books for offensive categories for the Blue Jays, you're going to see Vernon's name in a lot of those top 10 categories. So I'm with you. I think he should have been a little bit higher on that list, closer to the top 10. Now, 2 guys that we just showed in that last graphic, Jack Morris and Dave Winfield, I can attest that those guys changed the attitude to this organization when they came here. It was about winning and what can we do to win the World Series. For years, it was, boy, the Toronto Blue Jays have a lot of talent, but they can't win with that talent until Joe Carter and Robbie Alomar and Jack Morris and Dave Winfield and those veterans who had won before came here.
Paul Molitor. Vargas fouls it off. Jack Morris played 2 seasons with the Blue Jays. He went 28 and 18. But his first season in '92, after that terrific season with the Minnesota Twins in the great World Series matchup with John Smoltz in Game 7, he went 21 and 6 in '92. Big part of that World Series effort. And Pat Henkin told us when we heard Jack Morris was coming to the Blue Jays, we had our swagger. We were good. We were very good. But when Morris walked in the clubhouse, he brought a presence. That ball is hit down the right side. This ball is trouble. This ball is off the wall. Bautista's there. He's got a shot. Oh, what a nice play he made. Bautista played it perfectly to keep Vargas at first. Positioned himself perfectly, played the carom to a T, and keeps Vargas to a long single.
Does he remind you of anybody? Little Poppy? Big Poppy is David Ortiz. Little Poppy is Vargas. And this is a David Ortiz type of swing. Ball driven off the wall, a bolt to right field, but Bautista's great play holds him to a single. Jose gets over. He knows he's not going to catch it, so set up. The next best thing is just hold him to a single, keep that double play in order, and he does it.
Mitch Garver, he walked his first time up. Garver was the DH in last night's game. He was 1 for 3 with 3 strikeouts, but he picked up his first major league extra base hit. He had a leadoff triple in the 4th off of Jay Happ. Off the plate inside.
Last point about Jack Morris and the bunch that they brought over here to win. Blue Jays hadn't won anything ever until those guys got there. They were good. They were really good. Got in the playoffs in 1991. Still couldn't get over the hump until those guys came here. So yeah, they definitely need to be where they were in the voting.
It was a great effort to bring in Molitor and Winfield and Morris, Dave Stewart, David Cone. Those star players that were established, and you compliment them. How about Ricky Henderson when he came over?
Unfair.
Yeah.
That offense was unfair.
Whamco. And they had the nickname, the acronym, and Pat Gillick was the architect of those great World Series teams in '92 and '93. So this is the lead up to that 40 in 40 show tomorrow after the ball game, when they will reveal the top 20 players in franchise history. Garver strikes out. That's 4 strikeouts for Estrada. 2 away here in the 5th.
You know, everybody talks about Marco's changeup as a great pitch, but his fastball is pretty good. We showed earlier about him having to handle the right-handed batters. He does that time with a good, well-placed fastball.
Eduardo Escobar, the 3rd baseman. Escobar hit 5th in the lineup yesterday, and now he's batting 9th. But Molitor has made everybody on this team understand it's not about you, it's about the team. And I'm going to put you wherever I think you're going to serve us best to win a ball game.
He will go matchups. He'll go type of pitcher, righty or hard thrower.
So fly ball. Bautista going back, looking up. This ball is going to go. It is out of here. So the number 9 hitter, Eduardo Escobar, connects for a 2-run home run, his 12th home run of the season, and 1 swing of the bat, and we are tied at 2.
He hit cleanup yesterday. He drops all the way down into the number 9 spot this afternoon, and it pays off again for the Minnesota Twins. Looking for some matchups. Maybe they want a little bit more pop down at the bottom of the lineup. This is changeup that is up, and Escobar hits it out of here for his 12th home run. Really no chance of this one coming back.
We had mentioned that Marco's best inning this season was the 2nd inning, when he really stifled the opposition. He's had problems in the 5th inning this season. A .765 earned run average, and the opponents have hit .318 against him. Dozier hits that curveball high in the air. Smoke ranges into foul ground and makes the catch. The inning is over, but the Twins have tied it on a home run by Escobar. It's a 2-2 game as we head to the bottom of the 5th, top of the order. Zeke will lead things off, followed by the bringer of rain, and then Mookie. Justin Smoke, top 3 in his 2-2 game.
first 10,000 kids 14 and under entering the Rogers Center will receive a back-to-school backpack. It's the Blue Jays taking on the Twins at 1:07 p.m. Go to bluejays.com for tickets and show up for a very nice backpack.
Absolutely, and you can brag about it when you go to school to start the new year. Hey, I got a Blue Jays backpack. 2-2 ball game as the Twins have tied it up on a 2-run home run by Eduardo Escobar, his 12th homer of the season. Ezequiel Carrera with a 2-0 count. Carrera single to right field. Pulled it through the right side of the infield his last time up.
And just like that, after that second pitch missed the strike zone, now that they've tied it up, I looked down into that bullpen, and Paul Molitor got on the horn and said, I got to get somebody up here. My team has come back. I'm facing the top of the lineup. He might not let G go very far.
Yeah, he's
third time through.
Go through the third time through the order. Tyler Duffy, a right-hander. They have 6 righties and 2 lefties in their pen, and there's a check swing. Carrera had tossed the bat aside thinking it was ball 4 and had to retrieve it. It's a full count. Blue Jays had a golden opportunity in the 3rd inning with the bases loaded and nobody out. They managed just 1 run. Smoke struck out first out of the inning. Bautista then hit a sac fly and Morales popped out, but it could have been a much bigger inning.
Yeah, bigger crooked number, if you will. They had the right guys coming up and they could only manage that 1 run.
Bouncing ball. It's going to be a tough play for Escobar, and it'll be an infield hit for Zeke. Boy, you talk about a great 2-strike approach. He just put the bat on the ball and ends up with an infield hit leading off the 5th.
Gibby was saying, I got to get Carrera some more at bats because he always does something to help the team. This is going to be his 2nd hit of the afternoon. Takes that one right out of the glove of the catcher. Got beat by that fastball, but with his speed, he's able to beat it out. Good start for the Blue Jays in the 5th. Paul Molitor gets a little bit more anxious on the bench.
Dealing with a big part of the Blue Jays lineup, Donaldson and then Smoke. Josh had a bunt base hit his last time up. I don't think he's thinking about a bunt right now. Donaldson in a 1-run game. After Lopez had singled and Carrera had singled, Josh dropped down a beautiful bunt to 3rd for a base hit. That loaded the bases.
He's been in one of those home run swings right now. I think that's what he's thinking about. Extra bases, maybe popping one out of here and giving the lead back to the Jays.
Swing and a drive. There it is, right on cue. 2-run home run for Donaldson. He makes the park look small. That's his 8th home run in his last 13 games. Bringer of rain is bringing it today.
He had the infield hit his last time up on the bunt, the small of it. And then if you want to see the large of it, he didn't waste any time. We saw the bunt. That was the small hit. This is the large hit way back. Home run number 23 on the season. And just like that, the Blue Jays have the lead back.
Came on an 0-1 pitch. The 8th home run in his last 13 games. Josh Donaldson has given the Blue Jays the lead once again. G is out of the game. Tyler Duffy is into the game. We've got a pitching change here in the 5th. out of Rice University in 2012. He will take over for Dylan G. Josh Donaldson took care of Dylan G. Third time through the order, Blue Jays get a leadoff infield hit and a 2-run home run.
The home runs have been aplenty for the Blue Jays over the last month. Tyler Duffy would take over his 46th game of the season. He's 2-3, a 394 earned run average, just 13 base on balls this season in his 59 and a third inning. Fastball, sinker, curveball. Not really overpowering. He's going to get the ball on the ground. He'll get his share of ground ball outs.
Justin Smoke has walked and struck out. 4-2 Blue Jays. A couple of home runs. A solo shot by Morales in the second. A 2-run home run by Donaldson here in the fifth.
Blue Jays have scored 4 runs, 3 of those runs on home runs. They've been hitting their share of home runs again.
As we mentioned, they've homered in 7 straight games and 21 of their last 23. Marco Estrada has been given the lead back. Three and 1 to Smoke. Rarely does he offer at a 3-0 pitch.
Yeah, he'll get the green light, but he just doesn't feel comfortable at times hitting 3-0. Says I can hit just as well 3-1.
Dylan G, 4 innings, 4 earned runs on 7 hits. Smoke walks for a second time.
Canada's favorite car cheers for Canada's favorite team, Honda. Proud fan since 1977 and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Everything is bright and sunny here at Rogers Center now as the Blue Jays have retaken the lead 4-2. Jose Bautista has an RBI. He had a sacrifice fly his last time up. Tyler Duffy on in relief of Dylan G.
That fastball at 92. He's got a little late life on that fastball. A little slider and a curveball. You know, he once struck out 4 batters in an inning. Did that back in May of last season. He's looking for a ground ball here.
Fly ball into shallow left. It's dropping quickly, and it's going to drop safely. Smoke moves up to second. Bautista drops one between the left fielder Rosario and Byron Buxton, the center fielder. Nobody out, 2 aboard. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Jacoby Ellsbury is nicknamed Chief. He's a Navajo Indian from Oregon. He is recognizing his heritage, and he's always been called Chief going back to his childhood. One of my cousins, we called him nothing. We didn't know his name was David. We called him Chief forever. He's always been Chief and still is. Kendrys Morales has homered and popped out. He got everything started with a solo home run in the second. There's a base hit from Morales. Everybody had to hold up to make sure it wasn't caught, as Kendris has his second hit. They told you he likes hitting against the Twins, and that has got his bat coming alive.
He's got a multi-hit game this afternoon, and keep the line moving. That's 5 straight batters have reached base. Line drive, you got to freeze on any line drive with runners at first and second. So Morales cannot get an RBI. Dylan G started this inning by giving up an infield hit to Carrera, a home run to Donaldson, then his afternoon was done. Duffy has come in and give up 3 straight base runners. Blue Jays looking to bust this thing wide open.
Breaking ball for strike 1 to Kevin Pillar. Bases loaded, nobody out. Blue Jays can bust it open right here. They had a similar situation in the 3rd, and they managed just a single run.
The defense for the Minnesota Twins playing halfway. I think any ground ball, they're going to go home. Don't want to give up any more runs. Normally, the middle infield will play back and turn 2 and give up a run. Looks like Paul Molitor is staying aggressive, and anything on the ground, they might be coming home.
0-2 pitch. Ground ball, base hit. Smokes in to score. Bautista will stop at 3rd as Pillar delivers a bases loaded RBI single. 5 hits in the inning.
6 straight batters reaching base for the Blue Jays. 2 strikes. You want to get the ground ball, but you don't want to throw it right down the middle. That is thigh high right down the middle. And Pillar, who's been swinging a hot bat lately, says thank you very much. Gets it under the glove of Escobar into the outfield. 3 runs have crossed the plate, still nobody out. 10 hits now for the Blue Jays.
So Neil Allen, the pitching coach, out to the mound once again, having a chat with Tyler Duffy. Kevin Pillar coming into this game with a .346 average in his previous 7 games. Ryan Presley beginning to loosen up for the Twins. So the bases are still loaded, still nobody out. 6 straight Blue Jays have reached base here in the 5th. And it all started with a 2-strike infield hit off the bat of Ezekiel Carrera. Bautista singled, he's at 3rd. Morales singled, he's at 2nd. And Pillar, he had the RBI single. Ryan Goins has been money with the bases loaded. He has 9 hits in 12 at-bats this season with the bases loaded. He has cashed in 14 ribbies in these situations.
Says he doesn't try and do too much. He doesn't think about the situation. He says there's 2 out there in scoring position. I'll be happy with 1. If I get 2, even better. That's a way of not putting too much pressure on yourself.
Hit a grand slam in Milwaukee, one of 6 Blue Jays grand slams this season. His 9 hits with the bases loaded, tied for the 2nd most in franchise history. And now he's got a 3-0 count. Carlos Delgado has the Blue Jays record for 10 hits with the bases loaded. That was in 2003. Rick Bosetti, the center fielder, had 9 bases loaded hits in 79. 3-0. There's a strike.
This is where you still want to stay within your game plan. Don't get too large here. Even though you've got that 3-1 count, you're still thinking about putting a good swing on the ball. Don't try and do too much.
Fly ball deep center field. Buxton's going to make the catch. Everybody's tagging, and everybody's going to move up. Bautista comes in to score. Morales goes to third, and Pilar goes to second. Goins delivers his 15th RBI this season, batting with the bases loaded.
Did you see how controlled his swing was? He didn't get over anxious and swing hard. It was a nice short swing. Hit that ball a long way to center field. Watch how he stays on it, hands ready to go. He's not dipping and diving. He's staying right with that. Gets through it, hits it solidly to center field and deep enough to score the runner from third, and everybody else can tag up and move up. No chance for Buxton to throw anybody out. Positive at bat for Ryan Goins.
6-2 Blue Jays. Tyler Duffy records just one out, who faced 5 batters. He'll give way to Ryan Presley coming on for the Twins. The Blue Jays with 4 runs here this inning, and there's still just 1 out. Tyler Duffy recording just 1 out. He faced 5 batters. He walked Smoke and then gave up 3 straight singles and a sac fly to Goins. Now Ryan Presley making his 44th appearance of the season.
Over to Ryan Presley. He's a strikeout pitcher. Fastball, slider, curveball. He's got a very high spin rate on that curveball. That's how he generates a lot of those strikeouts. Duffy was a pitcher that had good command and control. Didn't have many walks. Walked the first batter and then fell behind everybody else. Presley's the same way. Doesn't walk too many batters, but he's fallen behind Ref Snyder.
Ref Snyder, for his career, 5 for 14 against the Twins. He had a base hit his last time. A solid single to center. Four runs on 5 hits for the Jays here in the 5th. Bouncing ball. Morales will hold at third, and Ref Snyder is thrown out. So now there are 2 outs. Presley gets the first man he's faced here. Josh Donaldson with a 2-run home run got the inning started. For Donaldson, it's his 12th home run in the month of August. His previous high, he hit 11 home runs in August in 2015.
He started it. I gotta hope Rafi Lopez finishes it. There's 2 more runs out there.
Lopez is the 9th Blue Jay to bat this inning. He struck out on a breaking ball to end the 4th. Ball and a strike to the Blue Jays catcher. Ryan Goins delivered a sac fly for his 50th RBI of the season.
Keep adding on to that career high.
There's a base hit to center field. Morales is in to score. Pilar's being waved home. The throw is offline, and Lopez will move to second on the throw. Rafi Lopez, RBIs 4 and 5 for the season, and the Blue Jays have kicked it wide open here in the 5th.
There you go. Donaldson started it with a 2-run home run, and Lopez might cap it with a 2-run single to center field. You can't leave those runners out there stranded. Got to come up with a big base hit. It's a pitch to his liking, a fastball out over the plate. No, that's a slider out over the plate. He rips it to center field. Buxton, who was shading him to right field, has got to come over to pick up the ball. He's not going to throw out Pilar, so his throw sails on him, and that allows Lopez to pick up an extra 90 feet.
And Zeke got it all started with a 3-2 infield base hit. He's the batter, the 10th Blue Jay to hit this inning. 2 hits so far this afternoon, and Carrera's batting average up over 300 again. He started at 297. Mitch Garver will go to the mound and try to help out his pitcher, Ryan Presley. Dylan G started the inning and gave up that infield hit to Carrera and the 2-run home run to Donaldson. Morales has 2 hits. Bautista has a hit and a sac fly. The Blue Jays have put up 8 runs on 11 hits. That's off the catcher's mitt, and Lopez goes to third. Garver got a glove on it, but it went all the way back to the backstop, so Lopez moves up.
We'll have to see how they score that one. It could be a wild pitch, or it could be a pass ball. But because it was a fastball way out of there, they rule it a wild pitch. No chance for Garver making his first start at catcher. Can't come up with that one.
Wild pitch charge to Presley. 3-0 pitch, and that's ball 4 high. So Carrera has been on base twice in this inning, and Josh Donaldson will have a chance this time with 2 men on. Not much a manager can do in an inning like this. 2 walks in the inning, 6 hits, and Donaldson steps to the plate, having homered already in the inning.
Presley had walked 10 batters all season long. He's falling behind everybody and ends up walking Carrera to get to Donaldson.
Donaldson is 3 for 7 against Presley with a home run. Had a home run cut. Donaldson, coming into this game, is a career .367 hitter against the Twins. The home run he hit in the first part of this inning was his 14th career home run against Minnesota. He's got a 1.234 OPS prior to this game. That's the highest against any opponent and the highest for any major league player since the recording began in 1913. He lights up when he sees the Twins.
Yeah, loves what he sees from the Twins. He's got a couple of hits already today. He also has a strikeout. A couple of runners on board. He looks free and easy at the plate right now.
Ground ball to third. Escobar makes a nice play. That ends the inning, but the Blue Jays have a big inning. They score 6 runs on 6 hits, and Josh Donaldson got it all started. He had a 2-run home run off Dylan G. His 12th home run in August, his 23rd home run of the season, and the Blue Jays have taken an 8-2 lead after 5.
Titans, fresh off defeat, Arsenal seeks redemption as they visit Anfield. Well, the Reds look to build on last week's late triumph. That's Arsenal and Liverpool tomorrow on Sportsnet World. Catch it at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, 7:30 a.m. Pacific Time.
Thank you very much, Sean. That's Sean McKenzie. I'm Buck Martinez along with Pat Tabler, and we are here in Rogers Center. Blue Jays have taken an 8-2 lead with a big 6-run fifth inning in support of Marco Estrada. Marco had to sit through a 30-minute half inning. I don't think he minds, given the fact they scored 6 runs for him.
He'll sit there 30 more minutes if they get him 6 more runs. He's already qualified with his 5 innings of work today. So what do? You got a 6-run lead, just attack. Don't change anything. Just keep using your fastball like you have today. Use that changeup.
Joe Mauer, he picks up his 2nd hit of the day. It's off the end of the bat, but he just stays on it, and kind of a frustrating at bat for Estrada. But Mauer, he got tipped cap. He's a .307 career hitter.
He's a great hitter. He made a good pitch. Nothing you can do about that. Get the next guy.
Mauer's 2 for 3. That's out of play off the bat of the shortstop Polanco. Strike 2 on the inside corner. Blue Jays starters have been roughed up of late, and it's good to see Marco being aggressive. That ball is down the right field line. It's a fair ball into the corner. Bauer is headed for third. Bautista plays it back in, and Bauer stops at third.
And just like that, the phone rings down in the bullpen for the Blue Jays. Pete Walker was talking before the game right here. He's thinking about, he wants his starters to go 7 innings, get deeper into the ball game, give that bullpen a little bit of a rest. The starters since August the 18th, their ERA 6.5, opponents hitting over 300, and they just haven't been able to get deep into the ball game. So Pete would like to see that this afternoon.
Well, and we mentioned 30 minutes on the bench, and Estrada has given up a single and a double here to start the 6th. So Walker's well aware of that situation, and that's why they have started the bullpen throwing. Looks like Danny Barnes is the first up for the Jays. Remember, this is a very explosive lineup. The Twins feature as well. They scored 6 runs on 13 hits and didn't hit a home run. So Walker's going to take a trip to the mound after Estrada throws a ball to Rosario, and there is Danny Barnes.
He'll have instructions. Hey, hurry up and get heated up quickly, or hey, he's got 3 more hitters. Be ready to go after that 3rd hitter. Just like that.
Well, there's a balanced lineup for the Twins, and they have switched it up pretty dramatically. So Rosario, who's hitting cleanup, and then they've got Buxton, Kepler, Vargas, Garver. It's a nice balance. Lefties, righties, and switch hitters up and down the order.
Yeah, they've got some power too. They've hit a lot of home runs in the month of August. 41 of them.
Eddie Rosario, outside, ball 2. Remember, the Twins have won 16 games in the month of August. That's their best month of the season and most wins in the American League.
And if your team takes on the personality of its manager, you know they're not shutting it down, even though they're down by 6 runs. Paul Molitor, tell you what, This guy played the game the right way. Never took an inch. Just kept battling all the way through. You know the Twins aren't going to lay down.
There's a strike. It's a 3-1 count to the left fielder, Rosario. Anxious times as John Gibbons takes a look at that lineup, and they've got some good hitters up and down the order. Fly ball left field. That should score a run. Mauer's tagging at third. Guerrero makes the catch. Bauer comes in to score. So it's 8-3 Blue Jays. Rosario picks up the RBI, his 54th of the season.
Another sacrifice fly. Had a few of those this afternoon, 3 of them.
Goins Bautista for the Blue Jays, and now Rosario for the Twins, all delivering the sac fly. Byron Buxton had a 3-hit game last night. He is 0 for 2 so far this afternoon. Good curveball to start the at-bat. Oh, and 2. Buxton fouls it off and stays alive.
That is a good pitch sequence right there. A couple of slow curveballs and then upstairs with the fastball. You could do that again, I think. Go upstairs with another fastball, or you can pull the string on a changeup. A couple of options right now for Marco to get this batter.
Fastball, and Buxton caught looking for Estrada. That's his 5th strikeout, and we had a chance to meet a real good Blue Jays fan from Sussex, New Brunswick. That's CJ. Pat and I had a chance to visit with him, and he had a chance to come over to Toronto. Came in last night. He was down on the field prior to batting practice, and we went down and got a chance to visit with him. He's a big Blue Jay fan, knows all about the Blue Jays, and told us his favorite player was Kevin Pillar.
We love meeting those people when they come down, and yeah, he was talking about Pillar as his favorite player. He loves Superman. He was saying he knows his name. And he goes, I can't put it on his jersey though because of Players Weekend, because of the copyright infringements.
It's absolutely incredible the impact that these ball players have on their fans, and the Blue Jays have a great following. And you know, the Blue Jays players, they understand it. They'll take time, say hi to those fans that get a chance to come to the ballpark. But let me tell you, I can tell you that the Blue Jays players appreciate all the support the fans give us across the country. Max Kepler with a 2-1 count. A run in here for Minnesota in the 6th. Marco Estrada had a long half inning on the bench when the Blue Jays scored 6 runs in the bottom of the 5th. And he gets Kepler to swing at that changeup.
Stop the bleeding. 2nd and 3rd, nobody out. If he can get Kepler here and just give up just the 1 run, he would have done his job. Kepler way out in front of that changeup.
Fastball in the air. Pillar is back. CJ's favorite player makes the catch, and that ends the inning. So Marco Estrada through 6 innings has the lead. 8-3 Blue Jays. telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. Been a big day for the hitters for the Blue Jays. Josh Donaldson connects. That's his 12th home run he's hit in the month of August. His best month ever, as he has put up big numbers this month. He is second in RBIs in the month to Manny Machado. Machado's had a terrific month of August.
Looked like he was bringing rain after that home run. Those shots we had right there.
He was bringing rain.
He was bringing rain after that home run.
Justin Smoke has walked twice and struck out. Two pretty good pitches from Ryan Pressly. Pressly took over with one out in the fifth and got out of it. Gave up a two-run single to Rafi Lopez and then walked Carrera, but got Donaldson to end the inning.
He can really spin a breaking ball. There it is right there. He's got a high spin rate. The major league average spin rate is 2,300. Presley's over 2,600. All that means is his breaking ball is going to have some more break to it by able to spinning it, and his fastball is going to get on the hitter just a little bit quicker.
There's a good curveball for the strikeout. One away here in the bottom of the sixth.
Hit a home run with any project this season. Home Hardware, proud sponsor of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Great fountain right next door to Rogers Center, of course, depicting the salmon making their spawning run up the rivers. It's that time of the year. There is Jose Bautista. There's that curveball from Pressly for strike one. We mentioned Donaldson's great OPS against the Twins for his career. Bautista's right behind him. Jose has a 1.137 OPS against Minnesota. That's the second best, going all the way back to 2013. This is a fly ball to center. And Buxton makes the catch.
He's hit 24 home runs in his career versus Minnesota.
You think about the list, and this is since 1913 with a minimum of 100 plate appearances. Donaldson is tops, then Bautista, then Ted Williams. They are better than Ted Williams. Brian Giles is fourth, and a fellow named Babe Ruth is fifth. So Donaldson and Bautista, the best OPS against the Twins since 1913.
Should we drop that on them tomorrow?
They wouldn't know. They wouldn't really know that. They know they have success.
That's why we got to drop it on them and say, hey, you're better than Ted Williams and Babe Ruth.
Morales hits a bouncer to Dozier, who makes a good play, and a good inning for Ryan Pressly. Blue Jays down in order for the first time this afternoon.
style, the Acura Luxury Suites could be for you. They're perfect for entertaining clients, corporate functions, or outings with family and friends. You can entertain from 16 to 300 guests. Our account executives will find the package that best suits your needs. For more information, call 416-341-1635 or go to bluejays.com/luxury suites.
Beautiful afternoon to be enjoying one of those luxury suites. You get a great seat, get some good food, little dessert. Everything is good in those luxury suites, and that youngster's having a good time. Yes, thank you very much. Junior Jay's Saturday, always a great opportunity for the kids, and this is Danny Barnes making his 48th appearance.
Check out those numbers against left-handed batters. Just 177. You got a couple of lefties scheduled this inning. Danny worked Thursday, gave up a home run to Corey Dickerson, a left-handed batter. That's a hit to a lefty, something he hasn't done a lot of this season. Lefties have had just 14 hits off of Danny, just the second home run he's given up to a left-handed batter. His changeup has been fantastic. That's why he's got those good numbers against lefties.
Danny Barnes is Barnesy, as you can see, very creative. Oh, Barnesy's pitching now to Vargas, little Poppy. But Danny Barnes' college coach is here this weekend, Scott Bradley, the college coach at Princeton. Bradley, a former major leaguer, started out with the Yankees. He has coached 21 seasons at Princeton, and Danny played for Scott. Ground ball. Goins is in the outfield. It makes a nice play as Vargas is retired. The shift got him.
Throw that down as a 6-3. Scott Bradley's here, went to Princeton, or coaches at Princeton. Mark Shapiro went to Princeton, so there's that connection also.
Well, and if you've heard the Bradley name, Scott Bradley is Michael Bradley's uncle, Michael Bradley of TFC. And it's quite a connection, as another Bradley brother, Jeff Bradley, is the public relations director for the TFC soccer team.
Are they playing? He said they're
on the road, I think. They're on the road this week, so they get a chance to see Michael. But and then they have national team break, as Michael Bradley will go play for Team USA. But the Bradley family is some kind of special family, and Bob Bradley, of course, Michael's father, is the longtime national coach for Team USA. This is Mitch Garver as Tim Meza starts to loosen up for the Blue Jays. Garver behind 0-2.
Good idea. Fastball up, fastball down. He really pronates that changeup where the arm stays up and takes his hand and gets on top of it, almost like a screwball. So with that great changeup, it makes it tough to throw a slider. He's been working on that slider, trying to come up with it, but his arm action really doesn't give him that chance to spin a good breaking ball.
You know, you don't hear of a lot of baseball players coming out of Princeton, but there have been some major leaguers. Chris Young played basketball and baseball at Princeton.
Tall Chris Young.
Big Chris Young, 6'10". It's a high fly ball in the outfield. Pilar, the center fielder, calling for it. Garver's retired. He's 0 for 2. Ross Ollendorf also pitched for Scott Bradley at Princeton. Ollendorf was drafted by the Diamondbacks in 2004, made it to the big leagues. Will Venable was drafted by the Padres. He was at Princeton and was drafted in 2005.
I got to swap stories with Scott Bradley playing against him, and he was talking about the great play that Bo Jackson made against him. Remember the great throw he made in Seattle? It was Scott Bradley who was hitting.
Smoke takes a nice ground ball, steps on the bag, and Danny Barnes has a quick inning. 3 up, 3 down. Escobar retired. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th. It's all Blue Jays.
Rival Boston Red Sox on Monday, August 28th to Wednesday, August 30th. For tickets, go to BlueJays.com.
Well, the Boston Red Sox, they will get underway just after the 4 o'clock hour. They are entertaining the Baltimore Orioles. Boston's dinged up right now. They've got Jackie Bradley Jr. on the DL with a thumb injury. No Dustin Pedroia. Eduardo Nunez day-to-day with a sprained wrist.
Yeah, he said he was going to play today. Took batting practice today and said he was going to play. I believe Chris Sale is supposed to pitch one of those ball games. He wasn't having any fun his last outing.
No, Nunez is in the lineup, playing second base, hitting leadoff. So that's a bit of good news. It is Kevin Gausman against Eduardo Rodriguez in that game. That's coming up a little bit later this afternoon. Rodriguez hasn't really gotten into the rhythm after coming off the DL. He's 0-1 in his last 7 starts with a .478 earned run average.
David Price has not thrown yet.
How about that? I don't know if he's going to make it back.
I know. The longer you're out, the longer it is to get you back.
Yeah, there's been some talk that he might come back as a reliever. And it doesn't have time to get stretched out to contribute as a starter. Of course, 2 years ago, the Blue Jays used him out of the pen in the postseason. Right. Kevin Pillar had an RBI base hit with the bases loaded back in the 5th. Glenn Perkins, the lefty, loosening up. They have 2 lefties down there, Taylor Rogers and Glenn Perkins. It's a high fly ball into shallow left center. Buxton, the center fielder, takes charge and makes the catch. So Paul Molitor has come out of the bullpen. He's already made the call for Perkins. Ryan Goins is the batter. He had a sac fly his last time up. So Presley does a decent job as he comes in, and he will turn things over to the veteran left-hander. Glenn Perkins, pitching change here at Rogers Center. Ryan Goins will face the lefty when we come back. Perkins comes on, and you can see that he is just coming back from an injury. Perkins had major arm issues, and he is healthy once again, trying to recapture his form.
It has been a long road to recovery for the former first-round draft pick for the Minnesota Twins in 2004. He was a closer for this team, a left-handed closer. Had some good years with Minnesota. He has been on the disabled list since April of 2016 with a torn labrum.
He didn't have surgery until June 23rd that year, so they put him on a DL and then finally realized they were going to have surgery. So he was just activated on the 17th of August. Ryan Goins has one at bat against Perkins. He is 1 for 1. But you're right, Perk, as you can see, his nickname on his jersey, is 3rd on the all-time Twins save list. He too, like Molitor and Mauer, is a St. Paul native.
He had a 3-year stretch for Minnesota where he had 36, 34, and 32 saves for this team, and then injuries hit. This came off the DL, like you said, 9 days ago. 7 rehab appearances since July the 22nd.
Goins gets another base hit. That extends his hit streak to 5 straight games. He is 2 for 2 against Perk.
Goins came up last night against another left-hander, Taylor Rogers, and hit the exact same type of ball. Just took it where it was pitched away and just hit it into left field. Hit a ground ball to left field last night for a hit.
Well, Ryan Goins, because of the injuries to Travis and Tulowitzki, has become an everyday player. And I think the consistent at-bats has really helped him understand that you just take your hits, go with the pitch, and he's not a home run hitter. So, you know, if he were to hit 250, 260 for an entire season, he'd be an everyday shortstop.
Easily. Easily. The way he can field.
John Curtis made his major league debut last night, and he retired to sign an order in the 9th, including a strikeout of Steve Pearce. Ref Snyder hits it in the air, and as soon as he hit it, he kind of hung his head because he knew Buxton was out there.
He was the guy he picked on last night, thought he had a double. But he took away an extra base hit and a couple of RBIs. If it stays in the ballpark, a lot like Devon White when he was here with the Blue Jays, if it stays in the ballpark, chances are he's going to catch it.
You mentioned Devon White. Paul Molitor brought up his name in our discussion talking about Buxton this morning. He said, he reminds me a lot of Debo.
That is high praise.
Rafi Lopez has had a 2-hit game. Had a single to right and scored in the 3rd. Had a 2-run single to center in the 5th. Blue Jays 8 runs on 12 hits. They've hit 2 home runs. Morales and Donaldson have homered. Rafi Lopez with 2 hits this afternoon. It's his first multi-hit game of his career.
Put a capper on it. That 3-hit day. Be greedy.
Now it's 2-2. This is just the 26th major league game for Lopez, and coming into this game he had only 41 at bats. Russell Martin continues to deal with that oblique injury. He's not nearly close to coming back. That's a fair ball. Vargas knocks it down, steps on the bag, and that ends the inning. We've played 7 innings here at Rogers Center on this beautiful Saturday afternoon, and the Blue Jay hitters have staked the Jays to an 8-3 lead. Looks like Tim Mayza's coming on. This afternoon, he's in line for his 6th win of the season. 6 strong innings, Pat, and he came out firing strikes early in that game.
Retired the first 7 batters that he faced, had a walk, and got out of that inning. Gave up the home run to Escobar. That was it for Marco. Also gave up a sacrifice fly. Looking for that 2nd win in 4 starts. He's had plenty of no decisions. Now the bullpen can hold on. If they can hold on, he'll pick up that W. 2nd pitcher out of the bullpen for the Blue Jays. Danny Barnes had a 1-2-3 7th inning. Tim Mayza, game number 6 for Mayza. He last pitch a couple of days ago down in Tampa, an inning and a third, had 3 punch-outs. Shows a good fastball and a nice slider.
Mayza has recorded a strikeout in each of the 5 games he's appeared in so far. Mayza is throwing a little bit harder than he was the last time we saw him in the spring. Of course, he had the opportunity to develop all spring long. Went down to minor leagues and had a good year, and he earned a call-up to the big leagues. Ryan Dozier, the 2nd baseman, has drawn the collar so far. He's 0 for 3 with a strikeout. Mays is 25 years old. He's been with the Blue Jays since 2013. Ground ball. Donaldson got a tricky hop. Plenty of time to throw out Dozier. 1 away.
Blue Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by award-winning Honda Marine. Great days on the water begin with Honda.
Lots of activity in and around Rogers Center. The Ripley's Aquarium right next door. The Roundhouse across the street. Just a great destination for tourists and locals to enjoy a beautiful afternoon.
I'm anxious to see this at bat right here. Mayza has been coming on strong, and maybe he's a big piece out of that bullpen next year. You're facing Joe Mauer, who is as hot as anybody in baseball right now. Let's see how his stuff plays.
Mauer came into this game hitting .424 over his previous 15 games, and all he's done today, he's gone 2 for 3. Boy, he's got a good eye. Patient, understands what he wants to hit, never expands his zone.
Well, it might have got a break on that first pitch. According to pitch cast, it looked like it was a high strike in the strike zone. Pitch cast says the first 2 were in, but it was called a ball. So now Mauer is in the driver's seat at 2-1. I like these type of at-bats for young kids like a Meza, who's got a good arm. Does he attack him? Does he go right after him, or does he run away from him? Try to nibble on the corner and trying to be too perfect.
Well, if you're not going to attack him in an 8-3 game, you're never going to attack him. It catches the outside corner. You know, it's really interesting. We always talk about 300 hitters and throw them around like they're everywhere. At the start of play today, there were 7 300 hitters in the American League. That's it.
That's it.
Qualified 300 hitters, 7. Mauer is currently hitting .294. He is just outside the top 10. Marwin Gonzalez, Jose Ramirez, and Jose Abreu are 7, 8, 9 in the American League, and they start play. Gonzalez and Ramirez both hitting .299. Abreu's hitting .298. Can't even get a top 10 hitting 300. Meza's got a good fastball.
Yes, 94 with that one, and he's like, here, let's see you hit it.
Take a shot on the inside. Mauer is so good on the outer 3/4 of the plate. Get that fastball inside to him.
Wow.
Like clockwork. What a hitter. Mauer with this 3rd hit. This is going to be a double. He fouled off some tough pitches. He worked Meza into a mistake, and Meza threw a pitch up and away, and Mauer has his 2nd straight 3-hit game against the Blue Jays.
To his credit, though, he challenged him with a 5-run lead. 3 hits in yesterday's game. That's the 8th 3-hit game, 5th this August. So he comes back today with another 3-hit game. That's 6 games this month where Joe Mauer has had 3 hits. Classic. Swing from a lefty the other way. Watch how the hands go first. The bat stays in that hitting plane a long time. That's how you win 3 batting titles.
Jorge Polanco. Polanco has doubled in 3 trips. That's going to go right into the Twins, just about Twins broadcast booth. It hit the facing of their broadcast booth and bounced out of play.
Ryan Tepera, after that double, gets up. You mentioned the television booth next to us, ex-Blue Jay in the television booth working with Dick Bramer.
The Troy Hawkins, terrific relief pitcher for a long time. Hawk started his career with the Minnesota Twins. He's doing some color work now on the Twins television broadcast. What a classy guy.
Yes, yes.
He
class.
and Torrey Hunter in uniform in spring training. And they bring a lot of experience. And, of course, the Troy Hawkins came up under Tom Kelly as the manager of the Twins. Polanco called out on strikes. Meza now with a strikeout in all 6 of his big league appearances.
Big heater again. He's going to come right after him. Here it is. Polanco thought that one was up and away, but that caught the strike zone.
Another lefty opportunity for Meza as Eddie Rosario steps in. First pitch slider.
Okay, now things are a little bit different. It's 8-3, I know, but that's a run. That's his run out there, so he's not just going to pump fastballs in there. He wants to save that run.
for another good slider. Blue Jays really looking for a lefty that can dominate left-handed hitters. Rosario is a good lefty hitter against lefty pitching, batting .280.
That's very respectable for a left-handed batter.
Couldn't chase that slider. Remember, Marco Estrada got Rosario to swing at strike 3 on a high fastball. I think Meza could do the same thing right now.
That's where they should go right here. He hasn't shown him that good fastball just yet.
And with 2 strikes, you know Rosario's thinking he's going to get another slider. He overthrew that fastball and lost it. So now I think it even plays more into a fastball pitch. Rosario saying, okay, he just showed me that fastball. I didn't want to throw it to me. Now I'll throw him a high strike with the fastball.
If you can get it up there, you could have some pretty good results.
He got a piece of that nasty slider. Bandito hanging tough with 2 outs.
The Bandit. What you don't want to do, I think, if you're Tim Mays, is say, hey, I need to strike out right here and overthrow, like he did on the one that he threw out of the dirt. That you come out of your delivery, you try and generate too much power, just let it happen. Stay over that rubber just a little bit longer.
96, but out of the zone.
He overthrew that one.
So now you got to be careful. There's danger lurking on deck, and Byron Buxton, and that's why Tepera is up. Base hit. Bauer is going to be stopped at third as Bautista gets it in quickly, and Rosario, we told you, he's a .280 hitter against lefty pitching, and Meza threw him a slider, and with 2 strikes, good hitters are going to hit that strike slider. So John Gibbons comes out. He's got Tepera ready for Byron Buxton. Buxton's a threat, as he has had 5 home runs and 15 ribbies in his last 15 games before this one this afternoon. So Mauer is at third. He doubled, and now Rosario's at first with a 2-out single. And Ryan Tepera is going to come in. Pitching change. Tepera will come in to face Byron Buxton, who is 0 for 3 so far.
Slow-mo cam. Brought to you by the Samsung QLED, the next innovation in TV.
Right-hander Ryan Tepera making his 59th appearance of the season. He's had some season. Tepera is 7-1 with a very good earned run average. He's thrown 64 in the third innings. Righties haven't done much. Lefties haven't done much against Ryan Tepera, who's had a breakthrough season.
Yes, he has, with a good fastball. He's always had that, and that nasty slider. Those 7 wins, tied for first in the American League among relievers. He has come in some tight ball games, slammed the door shut, and stuck around long enough to get the win. 7 wins out of the pen.
Byron Buxton goes after the first pitch. As we mentioned, Buxton 0 for 3. Called down on strikes in the 6th inning. That was Estrada's last strikeout. Marco had 5 in the outing.
Over his last 10 games, he's been almost automatic for the Blue Jays. Tepera's only given up 2 hits over his last 10 games.
Oh, man. Buxton gets hit by Tepera. That loads the bases. And now things are getting a little dicey. Max Kepler will step to the plate with the bases loaded. Not exactly what John Gibbons had on his mind.
They wanted this ball down and away. You see Lopez, the catcher, setting up down and away. Just let go of it too soon. It's right in the shoulder blade to load him up.
Right fielder Max Kepler 0 for 3 so far. There comes back with a good strike to start the at-bat. Kepler with the bases loaded this season, 5 for 10. Lays off that high fastball. He has driven in 10 runs. He hasn't homered with the bases loaded this season.
Still has a nice little season going, 16 and 55. Tepera has been able to handle lefties, throwing that fastball inside and then getting that slider underneath their bat.
I don't care who you are, you make that pitch consistently, you're going to have a lot of success. 94 down and away at the knees. Two balls and 2 strikes. Mauer's at third. He doubled with 1 out. Eddie Rosario had a good at bat against Tim Meza. He singled to right on a 2-strike pitch, and then Byron Buxton was hit by Tepera. He's now at first.
The only batter who's faced Tepera is Jason Castro. He's on the disabled list, so not a lot of history between these two.
Fly ball to right field. Bautista's back. This ball is going to go. Max Kepler with a grand slam, a home run. We mentioned he was 5 for 10 this season with the bases loaded. And we got a brand new ball game, folks.
8-3 with 1 swing of the bat becomes 8-7. 4 big RBIs for Kepler. The slider had been getting under the bat of left-handers. That one was a flat slider, didn't break at all. Tepera had only given up 1 extra base hit over his last 17 appearances to a left-handed batter. When your slider is flat, like this one, it just stays in the hitting plane. And Kepler puts 4 on the board with 1 swing.
His 2nd career grand slam home run. He has now driven in 14 runs in 10 at-bats this season with the bases loaded. And this one sneaks over the wall in right. Kenny Vargas, the first baseman. He's 1 for 3, singled and scored in the 5th. We told you the Twins reflect the personality of their manager. There's no give up in this young ball club.
They're not going to shut it down. I don't care what the score is. They're going to play all 9 innings.
Inside. That's the first home run the Twins have hit in these 2 ball games. Second, Escobar homered earlier. Excuse me. And now Osuna starts to loosen up.
Yeah, the home run has been a big part of what the Twins have done this August. You said they've won 16 games, the most in Major League Baseball in the month of August. The home run has played a big part of it. 43 home runs now.
3-1 to Vargas. Ground ball. Refsnyder, the second baseman, ends the inning. Vargas grounds out, but Minnesota gets a grand slam off the bat of Max Kepler. Go to the bottom of the 8th. It's an 8-7 Blue Jays lead. Time now for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell with Kevin Barker from the Samsung Broadcast Studio.
Baseball, but it's understandable if some fans here are eager and excited to get home for what could be the event of the summer. McGregor versus Mayweather. Everyone in the sports world is talking about it, including the Blue Jays players. I spoke to Jose Bautista earlier before the game. He said a group of the Jays will likely get together tonight and watch it. And as far as predictions go, the consensus seems to be the same amongst all the guys I spoke to. They think it would be interesting to see McGregor win. They don't think that is possible, though. I asked Biagini. He said he doesn't care who wins. He just hopes it doesn't come to blows. He's always good for a witty answer. You can order that on Sportsnet pay-per-view if you want to see it.
It should be interesting. Quite an event. It starts at 9 Eastern time. This is John Curtis, who made his Major League debut with an inning of work in the ninth last night.
A perfect inning of work with a strikeout. With a 6-1 lead, now it's a one-run game.
Yeah, he worked to the top of the order in last night's game, but it was Pierce, Donaldson, and Smoke. It's Carrera in the leadoff spot. Zeke's had a good day at the plate. 2 for 3 with a walk. And now he's walked for a second time. Drive of the game brought to you by the powerful all-new 2017 Civic Type R.
Well, after an infield hit in the 5th inning by Ezekiel Carrera, Josh Donaldson steps to the plate, and there it goes. Another home run for Donaldson way back as he gets that inside pitch from Dylan G. Sends it soaring to left field. That's his 23rd home run this season. And just over 300 at-bats. It's also this afternoon's drive of the game.
His 12th home run he's hit in the month of August. Curtis got Donaldson to fly out to left field last night. Look out, that fastball inside.
Curtis has a pretty good arm. And at 95 miles an hour, he throws across his body just a little bit, but he throws strikes. It's got to be tough on right-handers. stepping towards the Blue Jays dugout, and then here comes 95 at you.
Especially when you haven't seen him before. Got a first-hand look at him last night. First time he's pitched in the big leagues. Zeke can run a little bit. He is 7 for 8 in steals. It's an 8-7 Blue Jays lead. Boy, he got a great jump. No chance for the catcher, and it goes off Dozier's glove into center. I'm telling you what, he had a two-step start before the pitcher even made a move toward home. Zeke read it perfectly.
It's almost like he knew when he was going to let go of the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 4 steps before he let go of the ball. He will pick up his 8th stolen base. He's only been thrown out 1 time, and after the error by the catcher, he moves to third base. Blue Jays looking for an add-on run here.
They got the right man at the plate in Josh Donaldson. Donaldson is 2 for 4, a bunt single and a 2-run homer. Blue Jays lost last night 6-1. They were 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Today they have an 8-7 lead, and they've cashed in 4 for 8 batting with runners in scoring position this afternoon. Hopped up, shallow right. This is going to be a tough play for Vargas, and it's going to drop fair territory. Donaldson will end up at second. Carrera comes in to score. The infield was drawn in, and when they popped it up, Donaldson hit it down the right field line, a high pop-up, and it dropped safely for his 3rd hit of the afternoon.
Kepler, the right fielder, wasn't going to catch it. Really, the only one who had a shot was the second baseman, Dozier, but with the infield in, he had a long, and I mean a long way to go to try and catch this one. It's going to come back. And yeah, Dozier is the only one who had a shot at it, but it drops into no man's land. 16th double, another RBI for Donaldson.
3 ribby day for JD, the bringer of rain. That one did bring some rain. So Carrera comes in to score. He's scored a pair of runs. Zeke's been on base 4 times today. Justin Smoke is 0 for 2. Ground ball. Vargas picks it and flips to Curtis, who steps on the bag. Donaldson advances over to third for Bautista.
Isn't that funny how the game is? He hits that ball with the runner at first base. It's an out. But because they start that runner and he gets to third base, the infield has to come in, and JD's blooper to right field becomes a 2-run or a double, a 2-baser. In an RBI double.
Donaldson with that bunt single in the 3rd snapped an 0 for 13 skid, and now he's had a 3-hit day. So Neil Allen, the pitching coach, once again to chat things over. He's got a rookie pitcher and a rookie catcher on the mound, trying to save this run at third base. Mitch Garver making his first start behind the plate. John Curtis, the pitcher, making his 2nd big league appearance. A lot of inexperience in the battery.
A little instruction. What they want to do now, a runner at third base, and Jose Bautista at the plate.
For Donaldson, 3 RBIs. It's the 6th time this season when he's had 3 or more RBIs in a game. Jose is 1 for 3 with an RBI. He drove in a run with a sac fly in the 3rd. Donaldson and Bautista for their career have really done a number on Minnesota. Since they have been teammates, they have combined to hit .327 against the Twins. That ball gets away. Here comes Donaldson. He's going to score. Ball in the dirt. We talked about the inexperience of Garver and Curtis, and it cost Minnesota a run here.
Well, he was trying to snap off the greatest slider ever to try and get Bautista to swing at it. And when you do that, when you overthrow a slider, you're going to spike it right into the dirt. Overthrows the breaking ball, and it's a run for the Blue Jays. Right off the arm of the catcher, Garver.
Bautista fouls it back. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bottom of the 8th inning with 1 out. The Blue Jays have gotten those runs back. The bringer of rain with a 3-ribby day. Bautista draws the walk. Now Paul Molitor will make yet another pitching change. Trevor Hilgenberger, the sidearmer, will come into this ballgame. He'll be the 5th pitcher, 4th reliever to work for the Twins this afternoon, as Curtis couldn't repeat his inning of work last night. Hilgenberger will come on as we have another pitching change. Kendrys Morales is the batter. The 4th reliever to work for Minnesota this afternoon will be Trevor Hilgenberger in his 23rd appearance.
They are carrying 8 relievers, and we've seen 5 of them now this season. Hilgenberger pitched in yesterday's game. He was the benefactor of that great play by Buxton in center field off of Rob Refsnyder's bat. Side armor gets a lot of ground balls when he is working well. He's got that 3/4 arm slot where he gets a lot of sink on his fastball.
Kendrys Morales has had a big day. Morales homered to start the scoring for the Blue Jays in the 2nd. Then he added a base hit in the 5th. Off-speed pitch. Osuna is throwing along now with Matt Dermody, the left-hander. Osuna had gotten up last inning. 10-7 Blue Jays. At one point they had an 8-2 lead. Morales strikes out, another off-speed pitch. Kevin Pillar has had a 2-hit afternoon. He has had an RBI single. That came with the bases loaded in the 5th.
Over to first base. I don't think Bautista's going here. Jose's had 6 stolen bases, but I don't think he's going to go right here and let Pillar swing away.
Breaking ball in there for strike 1. Pillar continues to swing the bat well of late. He's now had 10 hits in his last 8 games. 5 RBIs over those 8 games.
Good at bats all afternoon long from the Blue Jays. They had the 1 inning where they really strung it together in the 5th inning. 6 consecutive batters reached base. All 6 of them scored.
Turning point of the ball game for sure, that 5th inning. Pillar pulls that breaking ball foul. They got to the starter Dylan G in that 5th inning. Carrera had an infield base hit, and then Donaldson hit a 2-run home run that knocked G out of the game. And then Duffy came in, Tyler Duffy, and he got but 1 out. That was a sacrifice fly to Goins, the last man he faced. Faced 5 batters, recording just 1 out.
Blue Jays have been on base every inning except 1 today.
Pillar swings and strikes out. That ends the inning, so Hildenberger gets a couple of strikeouts. It all started with Carrera walking. Then he gets a great jump at first, picks up the stolen base, number 8, ends up at 3rd on the air by the catcher, and comes in to score. Blue Jays lead at 10-7.
Sonnets get in the action contest for a chance to win the ultimate Blue Jays fan weekend. To enter, go to bluejays.com/Sonnet-contest.
New pitcher for the Blue Jays is their closer, No Panic, formerly known as Roberto Osuna.
Yeah, there is no panic with Osuna. He's 33 for 41 in saves this season. Save opportunity, obviously, a 3-run lead. Darwin Barney will take over at second base for the Jays.
Defensive change. Rep Snyder out of the game. Osuna delivers the first pitch strike. Pinch hitter Zach Granite. Just his 21st big league game. Granite out of Seton Hall University in New Jersey, strike 2. Osuna hits ahead with a couple of fastballs. Slider in the dirt. Osuna is second in the American League to Alex Colomé in saves. Colomé has 38, Osuna 33. There's a little looper. This is going to drop for a base hit. Granite opens up the 9th inning with a pinch hit single.
Missed 82 miles an hour on that off-speed pitch from Osuna, giving Granite a chance to get wood on it. There's the spin of the breaking ball, and he's able to just hit it off the end of the bat. Doesn't try to do too much with it, just float it out there for the start here in the 9th inning.
For Granite, that's his first big league pinch hit. He was recalled to start of this series. He's hit now in 10 of his last 12 games for the Twins. He's been back and forth between AAA and the big leagues. Granite was named the International League Player of the Month for June, playing for the Rochester Red Wings.
What a great name.
Zach Granite. It's like one of those Casey at the bat hitters. Now batting, Zach Granite.
It's got a great ring to it, doesn't it? That cutter right there had a good ring to it. Got it right under the bats of Escobar.
Escobar homered in the 5th, a 2-run shot. Upstairs, it's 1-2. Estrada started, then Barnes, Meza, Tepera, and now Osuna. Fair ball. Goes past Smoke down the right field line. Granite goes to third, and Escobar is at second. And just like that, the Twins are right back in it. They'll get the tying run to the plate.
Well, that's something you don't expect from Justin Smoke. Just his second error of the season. He had a long consecutive errorless games. A tricky hop. He wasn't really sure how he wanted to play it, if he wanted to back up on it or go after it. But it sets the stages, and the tying run comes to the plate.
107 consecutive errorless games going back to the 21st of April. That's his second error of the season. That is the single season consecutive errorless streak record for the Blue Jays. But now a home run hitter at the plate in Brian Dozier. So Escobar reaches on the air. Second and third, nobody out.
Dozier and Mauer behind him. We all know what Joe Mauer's been doing.
There's a base hit. Dozier delivers Granite from third, and now the tying runs at first. Ball gets away from Osuna. And Dozier, that's his third hit against Osuna in 4 at-bats. Things are getting anxious for the Blue Jays here in the 9th.
Dead pull hitter. No chance for the infield to knock that ball down to make a play. So Dozier is a threat to run.
Got 13 stolen bases. Joe Mauer with 3 hits already. Got 3 hits in his last 3 plate appearances. Mauer just 1 for 5 against Osuna. And the Twins have rallied here in the 9th. Ball on his strike to Mauer. Mauer with 3 hits in 4 at-bats is up to 296. He started the game batting 291.
He has been on a roll in the month of August. Blue Jays will trade a couple of outs for a run right here. They got the infield back against Mauer. There's the middle of the diamond, Barney and Goins.
Inside, 3-1. Mauer's got great plate discipline, the 3-time batting champ.
He is looking for the ball out over the plate, and they're trying to bust that cutter in, and he's just taking it. He's looking for something out over the plate where he can drive to left center field like he did his last time up.
Mauer has grounded into 13 double plays this season. Ground ball. Osuna throws to second for 1. Back to first. Double play. A run comes in. No RBI as Mauer grounds into the double play. 1-6-3 double play. Osuna kind of stumbled after he caught that ball, but he made a good throw to Goins.
They trade the run for 2 outs. That's what they needed to do, get that tying run off the plate, off the bases. Osuna right away, as soon as he caught it, he knew who was covering at second base and gave a good feed to Goins to finish up that double play.
No panic. So now Jorge Polanco comes to the plate in this 1-run game. It's 10-9 Blue Jays. Blue Jays this season 20-18 in 1-run games. Ground ball, this should do it. Goins it short across the diamond. That's the ball game. Roberto Osuna, an adventurous 9th inning, but he picks up his 34th save of the season.
What an entertaining game this afternoon here. He picks up his teammates, Justin Smoke, who rarely makes an error. He picks him up by getting the next couple of batters. The Blue Jays have a very important win. Josh Donaldson got it all rolling from the top of that lineup there today with that big home run and a double to cap it late in the game.
A big win, 10-9, as the Blue Jays hitters roll this afternoon. It's a game apiece. Tomorrow we'll have the rubber match. Stay tuned. Here's Blue Jays Central. Jamie and Kevin, take it away.